Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mo and today I'm going to be doing my part 2 to my July wrap up. So the last time that I did a wrap up, I had really good intentions and I did not plan on talking y'all's ear off, but it seems that the more comfortable I get in front of the camera, the more that I have to say. So again, I will not try to keep y'all here all day because I only have 8 more books to talk about today. I personally enjoy long videos. Let me know in the comments if you would like. Yeah, I'm someone that like watches reading vlogs. I love vlogs in general, like people just talking and just having like, you know, like a brain dump, if you will. In my part 1, I stopped on Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston, and I have 8 more books, so 15 plus 8, that means I have 23 books in the month of July. I don't want y'all to get used to such a large quantity of books being read. I don't know what I was going through in July, and even June, if you watch that one as well. I think I don't figure out how much I read in June, but it was a big number. June and July, those are not accurate at all. Like in March, I think I read 2 books, and like January I read 7, so I don't really know if I'm gonna keep this going. I would like to, because it seems like the more books I read, the more books that I find that I enjoy, and the more I get to cater my interests and when I figure out what I like. So I know that every time that I post like a video in my backyard, I'm like, oh, so sorry for all the noise, but like everybody and their mama is driving through my street right now, so there's like a lot going on. There's been multiple planes. I came out, birds were singing a little melody, so I'm hoping that that's not super distracting. If so, I am so sorry. So the next book that I read after Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston, I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This book follows Violet Sorengale. She's 20 years old, and her mother is a general to the army, and she was supposed to be a scribe like her father, but her mom's like, no kid of mine is going to be a lowly scribe, which is crazy because you married a scribe. So I want to know the story there. Like, I need to get into that. So instead of going to the scribe quadrant, she has to go to like the writer section, which like this is dragons. In this world, you get to bond with the dragon. If a dragon does not want to bond with you, they will kill you. It's very like the strongest survive, because they have to go through all these obstacles before, which I don't really understand, because if you need people to be in the army, why are you like killing them before they can get there? I don't know, but it's a war college if I didn't say so. Okay, so people have compared this to Hunger Games. I only see Hunger Games because of the whole like survival situation. Also, there's kind of like a love triangle. There's someone that she's known her like pretty much her whole life, and then there's someone that's other. And then Divergent, I kind of remember the plot of Hunger Games a lot more than Divergent, but I read them around the same time when I was in middle school. I see the comparisons with Divergent because people assume one thing about someone and then they are something way bigger than what they are. And then also like the rebellion factor. If you haven't read it, I would like for you to go into it with an open mind and like the expectations to have fun. Because if you're someone that's like really into fantasy and you're into world building and like super well fleshed out characters, this is not the book for you. The book for like fantasy beginners. People that really like romance, because there's like a romance subplot. It's kind of more about the romance than the fantasy child. And at some points it's a little confusing about what's going on in the world, but it's just fun. It's just fun. I'm gonna say fun for like the 5th time. If you want to have fun, I would recommend opening up this book and reading this book. But if you need some like really serious fantasy book that's gonna like take you out of this world, I'm so sorry, this is not the one for you. I don't think so. But in this world, when you pair with the dragon, you can kind of like hear their thoughts and communicate with them when you're not around them, and it's very cool. I forget what it's called. I think it's a signet. You get like kind of like these powers, and your dragon intensifies those and brings them out more. For example, there are people that can wield shadows. There are people that can take the memories out of people's heads and like see their memories. There are people that can read minds, all kinds of gifts. If you would like to read a main character that has a chronic illness, this is a book for you. Violet has EDS, which I believe is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That is a chronic condition that deals with the body's connective tissue. Sometimes she had to like build her muscle mass so that her limbs would not pop out of place and she wouldn't be in excruciating pain, but she's in pain a lot, and the physical pain that she goes through, I would say, really gives her like a leg up on some of the people when it comes to the trials and tribulations that they're going through. And also just her mental strength is astounding. She's deemed as like an underdog, and I love underdog stories, so that's the vibes. That's the vibes. I don't know if I could say any more about this book without like telling you everything about the book. I really want you guys to read it. So I did rate Fourth Wing 5 stars. I looked at like my little rating system that I do whenever I like journal. Technically I gave it like 4.6 because the plot development took away some things, and like some of the characters I really did not like care about. But you know, every good story needs, like, I guess a conflict and an enemy, so whatever, that was important. I don't know, but technically I got 4.6, but I'm just gonna round it up to 5 because why not? I would definitely reread it and continue with the series. I don't know what it was about July, but I was reading so many books about grief and loss, and typically in the summer everyone wants to read like beach books and just sunny fun times. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if some books I did know were sad, but some books I'm just like, whoa, you took me somewhere I did not know I was going to be took, didn't know where I was going to be taken. All that to say, the next book that I read was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This was my first Kennedy Ryan book, and I'm just going to say this about everybody that I read that I enjoyed. I'm definitely going to read more of Kennedy Ryan. I forgot what that one series is called that like I've been hearing a lot about. I know Long Shot is in there. It's like a basketball trilogy, and I'm really scared to read that because I've heard like so many like trigger warnings about the book. I don't know if I can get into that right now. I really don't. Like, I'm tired of being emotional and crying, like, which I probably should lean more into my emotion because I'm someone that like, okay, no, not on here. This is not therapy. I love her writing, so I definitely will read it at some point. But yeah, let's get into what the book, my rating. I rated this book 5 stars. Apparently it is the book 1 in like a Skyland series, which is like I think the neighborhood that they live in, which I didn't see any dates of like a second book, so I don't know if that's just like you have to put like a series name for standalone books. I don't know. I've never seen that. But if she has more books in the series, I definitely will be reading them. So this book follows Josiah and Yasmin. They were married, and I think they've been divorced maybe 2 or 3 years. This is a second chance romance, which if you don't like second chance romance, get out. I have not seen co-parenting like in a healthy way in a book at all, but like really a lot in my life, like in my experiences. The way that they communicated was just amazing. Like, it seemed like they really respected and loved each other as a person. And like, the bar is in hell, because that should be what happens when you're having children with someone, but that's not always the case for everybody. They just communicated very beautifully. I loved it. They were co-parenting their 2 kids. I forget their names because yeah, don't care about the kids. I think they're like 10 and 16 or 12 and 16, something like that. There's like teenager and like a preteen situation. I'm not gonna get into the kids because I really don't want to roast nobody's kids right now, even if they're fictional. But Josiah and Yasmin, they also own a thriving restaurant business together, and Josiah is like more of the face of it. The reason that they divorced, they had a very big loss, and they both had different coping mechanisms and grief and mourning styles that didn't mesh well together in the moment. Now, some years later, they haven't really like talked about it, and they just have more conversations, and Josiah ends up dating this woman, and Yasmin realizes that she don't really like seeing him with nobody, even though it's been like 2 or 3 years. But this is the first time either of them have been with anybody. So they kind of like get their licks back and like do all this stuff, and I don't want to say more, but I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't think that I would enjoy it so much, but it's a 5 star for a reason. I then read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This is the first book in the Brown Sisters series. I did give this one 3.5 stars. Chloe Brown is another chronically ill girlie. She comes from a family of money. The Brown sisters, they come from money. So there was like sometimes a disconnect with me because like I do not come from money. Chloe is the oldest sister. It goes by like descending order. It's Chloe, and then Dani's the middle child, and then Eve is the baby. Chloe gets into like this like near-death accident almost, and it really shakes her, and she's like, wow, I am so boring. Like, my life, I need to get my life together, like the title suggests. She's like, I need to do things. I need to have casual sex. I need to get on a motorcycle. I need to have a good drunk night out. Also, I believe I read somewhere that Talia Hibbert is queer. She has a chronic illness, and she's black. So, oh, and I can never say that word. Neurodivergent as well. Me and Talia, we have a complex relationship. Like, sometimes she really like hits, and then sometimes she really misses for me. I definitely would read anything that she writes, but me and her, we you know, we got this thing going. So Chloe had fibromyalgia, which I don't know the exact details about it, but she also dealt with a lot of physical pain. The people around her, like her friends, couldn't handle that, and it seems like they kind of like dismiss her illness and what she goes through, and eventually they just disappear out of her life. I don't know if she cut them off. I think like it's just like a gradual like disappearance from them, and just like not supporting her. So she just feels really alone. Then we introduce the hero, which I'm gonna start saying hero and heroine. I always say like female main character and male main character. It should be too much. So the hero is Red, and that's her landlord of this. She moved into this building because one of the things on her list was to move out of like her family's mansion. She just wants to have independence and to be her own person, which I understand. But I'm like, mansion? I don't give a fuck what you're going through if you live in a mansion. but I slightly gave a fuck, so whatever. Red is her landlord, and they have like this very like, I wouldn't say it's hate to love. I think it's very strong dislike. And really, they don't know why they don't like each other, I don't think. I forgot the first interaction, but I think there was a miscommunication. Red is kind of like the sunshine to her grump. He's very nonchalant, and I think they were trying to portray him as like a bad boy situation, like he had a leather jacket and he was a little like not so polished. I gave this 3.5 stars because I didn't really like the pacing. I was pretty bored in a big like chunk of it. And Red, he has like basically PTSD from his last relationship. The person that he was with basically was using him for like clout and images and just like social media. And there's a point in time where now I'm telling the story. No thank you. I will say that the patience and communication, I'm really like, one thing you will realize whenever I talk about like romances, I really just enjoy somebody communicating. I personally am not very good at communication, so sometimes I learn like a lot through the books that I read. Seeing couples communicate so well, it really puts hearts in my eyes, you know? My favorite quote from the book is, "Love is certainly never safe, but it's absolutely worth it." If you're someone that has been through a lot in romantic relationships, it's kind of easy, it's very easy actually, to just give up and also put all your passwords onto the next person that you're with. I don't know, reading that, I was like, wow, Gigi, you onto something. Because never have I been through something and I regretted how I loved somebody. I may have regretted my actions and how I took care of certain things, but never did I regret the love that I gave. So it is worth the risk. And if you needed to hear that, I feel like I had to say that. The next book that I read was Take a Hint, Dani Brown. This is the second book in the series, The Brown Sisters, by Talia Hibbert. I don't think I've been saying the authors. Talia Hibbert. I did give this a 5 out of 5 stars. One thing that y'all will come to know is if there is a queer if there's a queer character, I'm most likely gonna really enjoy myself. Gays gotta stick together. I don't care. I don't care. This was actually like my favorite book in the series. I didn't get to Eve Brown in July, but you'll hear about it in August. Dani was still my favorite sister. She's my favorite character. So Dani is a PhD student, and she's just very like, she's a big workaholic. She's I forgot what her studies were, but it seemed like something interesting that I would want to read in real life. Dani is also a professor or a teacher. She's a professor at this school, and Zafir is the bodyguard that like allows people to come in and out the building. Zafir, he used to be a rugby player, like a professional player, and an accident happened where he lost 2 people that are really close to him in his life, and he didn't like all the... Sorry, I just got a text from my best friend. She's been trying to get me to read Beautiful Creatures, and I looked at the reviews and I was like, girl, nobody is wanting to read Beautiful Creatures. And she's listening to it right now because she just recently got Libby. Finally, girl. That's plane number 6. Nobody wants me to win. She's listening to Beautiful Creatures, and she said in her opinion it still eats. So that's to all y'all that don't like Beautiful Creatures. I'm gonna read that and we'll see. We'll get to it. We'll get into it. Maybe I'll do like a reading vlog so I can like spoil. I don't know. Oh, but Zafir and Dani, they have like this cute little relationship. She brings him tea or coffee. I think he drinks coffee and she drinks tea. She brings him this stuff and they chit chat and they do a little flirting. And Dani is very sex positive. Like, she is someone that wants to just hit it and quit it because she has so much on her plate and she's really feeling Zafir. So something happens and she gets stuck in an elevator at school while they're doing like a fire drill, and he goes in and he saves her or whatever. He comes out the building, he's holding her, and that's the cover of the book, him holding her, carrying her out the building. So everybody is like, ooh, this is hot. Yeah. So they record the whole moment. And it goes viral, girl. It goes viral. Calling him Rugby because he used to play rugby, and she didn't know that. They find out all this stuff about each other, and it goes viral. And they're just like, let's just play on this. I forgot why. There was something in it for both of them, but they end up fake dating to keep this whole publicity thing going. So they fake date. They're going around campus. They're going on like these like mandated dates, and they feeling each other, and it gets sexual. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. In all these books, it gets sexual. I will say, okay, I'm tired. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to bring up a book that's not going to be in this video. But Eve Brown, that's the most smuttiest one. That's the most spicy book out of all 3 of these. Dani is the second. I definitely would like to be in Dani and Zafir's relationship. If they're taking applications, I would gladly apply. No bullshit. I want the both of them really bad. So who's gonna orchestrate this thing? If you like opposites attract, bisexual representation, fake dating, I don't think there's Grumpy Sunshine, but that's also one of my favorite tropes. I think you'll like the book. That was what I was getting at. I think you'll like the book. I don't know, like their relationship, their love story, it made me want to be in love so bad. I just posted a video 2 days ago called Reading Only Thrillers for a Week, and the first book that I read was The Maid by Nita Prose. This follows Molly Gray. She's a maid, and she's just navigating life. Her grandma passed away, and her grandma is someone that used to coach her on like social situations and just help her get down to the meaning of what people really mean. So she's kind of, in a way, really lost without her grandma here. That was like her best friend. That was everything to her, her grandma. She's kind of in the world alone at this point. Also, the author does not like ever say, or like the main character, they don't ever say she's autistic. I said in another video, I don't have the qualifications to diagnose anybody at all, but I really do think that Molly was autistic. If you read that blog, there's one scene that I talked about, which I'm not saying that if you have like one scene or like one moment that someone's autistic, but come on now. If you know the signs of autism, I believe that she's autistic. Just for example, her grandma had to coach her through social situations. That's some kind of neurodivergency. Also, is it me, but like whenever y'all read thriller books, do y'all just like forget the entire plot of like what you read? Like you could have a good time, but you're just like, damn, what did I read? Molly works at like this 5-star hotel, and she regularly cleans Mr. Black's room. And one day she goes into his room and she finds him dead on the bed. And she finds him, she's calling and everything, she's calling. And the police get there, they're asking her questions, and they think that she's very suspicious. Like, for example, ooh, I don't want to tell the whole book. Her boss is like, hold tight 1 second, they're just gonna ask you some questions or whatever. And he gives her like some cookies and some tea or whatever, like biscuits or whatever. I think they were British. There was some kind of vocab that was happening in there. I don't know. She was chomping down on them little biscuits or cookies or whatever, and she was like, these are so good. Like, where'd y'all get these from? And the boss is like, girl, this is a serious time right now. Like, everybody, she just kind of shook right now. She's shook. Don't worry about her. Which I found myself getting very frustrated because this book was written, I think, in 2022. Yeah, it was published in January of 2022. And I don't know when it was set in. I don't remember getting like an actual date. But I don't like that people were treating Molly. Everyone's ignorant to something. But I feel like there should have been more compassion and empathy with what she was going through. Because Molly's not dumb, and that's the thing too that I don't like. When people try to like play autistic people like they're stupid, I don't like shit like that. Like, you're not gonna get one over and take advantage of somebody. Like, that's not right. That's not cool. I don't care. And she was definitely getting taken advantage of and played, and I really was not here for it. She's like the #1 suspect for killing this man, and a bunch of the people that work at the hotel are basically trying to help her clear her name. I gave this book a 3. I think all the books that I read were like mystery thriller. This one wasn't giving that much. I almost gave it a 2, but like some parts I did enjoy. So it's a 3. The next book that I read was The Bandit Queens by Prene Shroff. This book follows Geeta. So y'all, Geeta had this husband. He was a drunk and he was very abusive physically to her and emotionally. Yeah. One day he disappeared and everyone thinks that Geeta killed him. It really benefits her for people to think that she killed her husband. So she goes along with it, even though she becomes like an outcast and a social pariah. This starts as one lady coming up to her and asking for her to help her kill her own husband. And it just trickles down into these other women in this society, in this little like lone group, which when I was reading it, I think I said that in the thriller vlog, I didn't understand what the lone group was about. But basically in society, everything is very misogynistic, and the women can't do anything without men's approval. So the women, they have like this loan that they get, that they share amongst a group of women to like cover the dues and everything, and they basically fund their hobbies and their lifestyles. Like, so many of the women, they have their own businesses, so that's what helps them. So they pay dues, but I was confused about that part, because they have to pay somebody. They pay the loan back, but they need the loan. So I'm like, when are they ever using that money? Where's the money? Like, you know, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I was really confused. I won't get into this book because if I do, I'm gonna be here all day. I love this book so much, and there were so many points where I was like, well, this is tough. Like, there was just so many bad things happening. Like, and bad, like, that's saying it. That's diminishing how big these things were happening in this book. I would definitely say check your trigger warnings for every single book. I'm probably gonna say that in every single wrap up, but I mean that, especially even for Before I Let Go, this book, just check it. If you feel like, if you read this, I don't know if you're someone that reads summaries, but if you don't read summaries, maybe look at the reviews and see the non-spoiler reviews and see how people are talking about the book to get like a gist of what it's going to be about. I don't know what triggers you all, but some things were hard for me to read. Like, I don't really have any like strong triggers, but a lot of these things were just heavy. and I did have a good time because there was some humor in it, but a lot of it was dark. The next book that I read was The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. This is a modern retelling of Jane Eyre. So Eddie is a widow recently. His wife Bee and her best friend, ooh, what's her best friend's name? Sorry, bestie, don't remember your name, but damn, what was her best friend's name? Bee and her best friend, they die in like this like boat accident. Apparently they were both drunk and they fell in the water, but their bodies weren't recovered. And then you got this girl, Jane. Jane grew up in a lot of foster homes and she's keeping her identity hidden. She's trying to make her way into this rich society and become like a rich man's trophy wife. What comes with that is her trying to like scheme and make her way into this like ladies group and just, you know, assimilate and become one of them. So eventually she tries to escalate this so that Eddie will marry her so that she can leave her past for good. What she don't know while she's trying to hide her own secrets is that Eddie has his own secrets too. And that's why it's called The Wife Upstairs. There's a wife upstairs. I gave this 4 stars. Well, the very last book that I read in the month of July was In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I gave this 4 stars. This book follows 6 college friends. They were very close in college, like a very tight-knit group, and it kind of came off kind of weird. A little weird to anyone that was on the outside. They were a little bit too close. Their senior year of college, one of their best friends died. It was an angry death. Like somebody had stabbed her like 18 times with like some scissors. They have their 10-year college reunion and everyone's coming back. The main person that we follow, like the point of view, is Jessica. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Sorry if something changed, but I was having some technical difficulties. But we're following Jessica as like the main point of view, but sometimes it does switch between the other people in the friend group, what they went through when they were still in college and then present. The girl that died, her name was Heather, and Heather's brother, at that college reunion, he brings them all together and he's like, one of y'all is the killer. And I know this because I've been doing my own investigation and there's so many things the police did not give out to the public that I know. And I know y'all's secrets, and if y'all don't tell them, I'ma tell them. He's very no nonsense and he's getting them all in this one place, and it gets intense, y'all. Like, this is like the only book out of all the 4 that I read in that video that actually like had me anxious and my heart was like, ooh. So if you're really into thrillers, you could have just guessed who this was, even if you're not. I thought it was gonna be one person because I was trying to find the like least likely person. I was trying to be like, okay, it's not gonna be the most obvious person, because if it is, that's lazy, but I think it's gonna be this person. And it wasn't who I thought it was gonna be, but who it was, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. If you look at all the history and what's going on and who these people are, it makes sense who it was. But there's just a lot of things to uncover. There's so many layers. There's like love triangle. The romance is like, what is that called? Like the subplot of everything. So I kind of enjoyed that. I'm a romance girly, so I really liked that. Okay, this doesn't make a lot of sense, but it kind of reminded me of The Breakfast Club with like just all the different kind of personalities, but like they all end up being cool. There's a lot of stuff about friendship, love, obsession. It was a lot of dark. And if you're someone that likes to read like unlikable characters, you're gonna like this because none of them were good people. Well, yeah, none of them were good. I'm not saying they were evil, but like they were morally gray. And if you like that, you might like this book. I liked it a lot. That wraps up the video. That was all the books that I read in July. So again, there is a part 1 where I talked about the first 15 books, and then after that I continued to read 8 more books. So in total of July, I read 23 books. I do want to say thank y'all so much for watching. Oh, I really do appreciate all of y'all that have just commented and subscribed and just supported me. I really do appreciate that so much. I just had to say that in one of my videos because I've been seeing it. I'm just like so excited every time that I get like a new interaction with one of y'all. I'm just so happy. I really enjoyed making this video for y'all. I hope y'all have a good day. Bye. What was I gonna say? Hold on, shit. I just woke up. Why am I doing this when I just woke up? But you know, I feel like someone's watching me. And not in a good way. Girl, if it ain't one thing, it's another. That's an airplane in the background. I wonder where they're going. Okay, so I will try another airplane. So the next book that I read, damn, everybody and their mama's outside today. I'm kind of getting pissed off. Yeah, that's what this is. I'll wait. When is that plane number 4? Since I've been out here for 30 minutes. She's very scholarly and very like no bullshit. Like, ooh, was that a bee or a fucking fly? Well, I'm scared. Child, there's a bug taunting me right now. Oh, what is that? Airplane number 7? Right on time. Maybe it's because I'm not outside all the time, but I did not realize how many planes go by all day. Okay. We move. Oh, I saw it. Oh, I'm scared. Please leave me alone. Please. Okay, I get so scared of bugs because I used to watch this show called Monsters Inside Me, and bugs can get in your body and lay eggs, babe. I'm so scared. If you ever think I'm being mean, so mean to bugs, and you love bugs, I'm so sorry. But they terrify me. It's not just like, ooh, I hate you little bitches. I'm terrified. And I hate them to survive. But there's one that keeps taunting me and getting in my face. And I know. It's distracting me because it's a fly, I'm pretty sure. It keeps getting in my ear, talking to me. And every time I say something, they got something else to say too. This is not your video. We're not collabing. Please. I look like a crazy person. I'm in my backyard by myself, talking to a fly. Like, I don't know if y'all see this fly. Do y'all see this fly on the camera? Okay. We're almost done. Whatever. Let's thug it out. I'm sure you have something better to do. Like, get food for your family or something. But this is a modern... Y'all see that fly? I know y'all see that fly because I just seen that fly. Oh my goodness, it's messing with me so bad. Ooh, a dragonfly? Okay, it's a dragonfly. Those are nice. Okay. Ooh, it was coming at me though. Them dragonflies, they don't care. And also I'm on edge because there's a wasp's nest very close by me. So I'm trying to not disturb their peace. Oh, plane number 8.